For a second example of solving equations, I now have an equation with variables on both sides. So I start with my steps. I look to see first, is there anything to simplify on both sides? So I consider each of those quantities separately, and there are no like terms to simplify. I cannot simplify across the equal sign, so I cannot put the 3x and the negative 7x together. So since there's nothing to simplify on both sides, I can go ahead and go past that step. My next step is to get the variables to the same side, and this is where I have some choice. Since I have a positive 3x on this side, I could subtract 3x from both sides. And since I have a negative 7x on that side, I could add 7x to both sides. Each of those would be my options. I want to choose the option that's going to keep my variable positive. In this case, that would be adding 7x and adding 7x. That's not an essential step, but it's going to keep our lives a little bit simpler once we get to solving inequalities. So the negative 7x and 7x cancel out. On the left-hand side, I get 3x plus 7x is 10x. And since I didn't do anything with anybody else, I'm going to go ahead and just drop everything else straight down. So I have a minus 24 on the left. I still have my equal sign, and I still have my 14. So that completes the second step. And now I just attack this like a two-step equation. I work outside in order to isolate my variable. So I'm going to add 24 to get rid of the minus 24. Again, that cancels those out. Leaves me with a 10x on the left and a 38 on the right. Realize that the 10 is attached with multiplication. So to undo that, I would divide. So my answer is x equals 38 over 10. I know that 38 does not divide nicely by 10. In other words, I don't get an integer for an answer. So to be mathematically correct, I'm going to reduce the top and bottom here by 2 and get x equals 19 over 5. And I'd prefer improper fractions. You could change that into a decimal if you would like. You get 3.8. That's my only answer to the equation. I'm not going to go back and show how to check it, but if I were to plug 19/5 in for each of these x values into my original and do all the math, I would get the same number on both sides. So 19/5 is my one and only solution to this equation.